Greetings, Comrade Joseph.
Greetings. Welcome to Chicken of Doom, where podcast listens to you.
It's perfect and free.
Yes, it's free.
Do you know why I start off today, Joe, instead of like normal, where I say nothing and I'm unenthusiastic?
Where we talk about strange animals and their
Yes.
odd attributes that make them not Soviet Supermen like us.
Yes. Do you wonder, is it because John loves communism?
Is it because of John's magnificent beard?
No, it is neither of these things, because John hates communism.
Yes, and so do I.
Oh, great. I'm happy because I get to make fun of communists, and this is because Red October is coming.
Yes, so Red October, for those of you unaware, is the anniversary of the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia that ushered in the Soviet Union and communism, and we figured there would be no better day to rip on communism mercilessly, as we have been planning to do for quite a while now.
Yeah. Yep, it's going to be good. So if you're a fan of communism, go ahead and turn this off now, because you're not going to like it.
And you probably
will get
have
butthurt.
internet.
Communists have internet. If communists didn't have internet, there would be no one to rip on forums.
Okay.
That's where all the idiots come from.
You know better than I do.
Oh, yeah. I make it a goal of mine to troll a communist a day online.
That sounds gloriously fun.
I don't meet my quotas really all the time, but
you know, the internet was produced by a capitalist, and the computer was produced by a capitalist, and electrical systems were produced by capitalists. You know that, right?
Yes.
So yeah, communism, I think, it's a serious contender for the worst thing ever. Seriously, it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always kind of wondered, like, what was day-to-day life like in the Soviet Union under communism? Like, just a lot of little things, like, what would board games be like under communism?
Probably like everybody wins.
Well, because a lot of our board games are based around, like, our ideas like money and success. So, like, if you had Monopoly in the Soviet Union, like, you would start off where the government owns every territory and has, like, a hotel on them, and you just move around the board shelling out your money and nobody wins.
No, but it's okay because you get just enough money to pay all those bills from the government on the Go Square.
Yeah, every time you pass Go, you get a stipend of rubles.
In fact, you get like $1 million every time you pass Go. But, you know, every time you land on a square, it's going to cost you, and the government gets most of it.
And every time you go directly to jail, the piece gets removed and disappeared.
Yeah.
You go to jail for no reason. And then, like,
it's permanent.
Yeah, like the game of life. You know the game of life where you do the spinner and you choose a career and you choose a house and...
Yeah, it's like Monopoly with babies.
Yeah. Ooh, I want to play that game.
No.
Monopoly with babies.
No. Yes, baby currency. No.
Yeah.
We're not communists,
but
Joe. We don't have to use baby corpses for currency.
If you had the communist game of life, like, all the cards would be the same. So you land on one of the, like, the buy a house square. All the houses are the same, like, gray apartment building, and everyone gets the same one.
You have to. There's like a whole deck of house tiles and car tiles, and you flip them over, and they're all exactly
the same.
20 of each.
Yeah.
20 bland Suburbans.
20 bland suburban homes.
I love ripping on communist philosophy. I'm going to do that real quick.
Okay.
What I love about it is that one of the bases of their theory is that property is theft. That, like, owning the means of production is theft because you're actively preventing other people from using the product, right? You're from making stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's their basic.
But
tenet.
when the state takes over and communism reigns supreme, you've just got a new institution telling you what to do with your labor.
Yeah.
It's not ever. They complain capitalism has stolen the very essence of the worker. It's stolen the worker's labor, and then the party takes over. Okay, it's now time for us to control your labor.
I don't know. I don't think a lot of communists actually understand their own what they say they believe in. Like the people that wear the Che Guevara shirts.
Right. Internet communists and like the average college liberal does not understand. And they think communism is kind of cool.
It's kind of cool and hip.
And they didn't do it right the first time, Joe. They didn't do it right the first 7 times.
No, they didn't.
The millions of people murdered in every country where communism was attempted it's just a fluke, it was an accident. They didn't do it right.
What I think when I hear that, it's like communism is kind of like trying to make a popsicle out of a turd. And like someone takes a turd and puts a stick in it and puts it in the freezer and they get it out, it tastes terrible, and they're like, oh no, it wasn't the right kind of turd. Like, we'll do it again next time, and I'll eat something different, and it'll be a different consistency, or I'll shape it differently, and then it'll taste better. I'll eat strawberries today, and then we can have a lovely turd popsicle. And at the end of the day, it's like, no, it's a popsicle made out of a turd.
Just because your turd is shaped like communism,
yeah,
it's not going to make it better.
That's communism in a nutshell. Communism is a popsicle made out of a turd. So yeah, we already talked about Pokemon in the Soviet Union and how they are all the same. So I think where we have variety in our toys, like the communist toys wouldn't have any variety because nobody can outshine anyone else, right? Everyone has to be the same. So I think if communists sold Play-Doh, if the Soviets had sold Play-Doh, it would all have to be gray Play-Doh.
Yes, exactly.
Like it's all gray, and the children aren't allowed to shape the Play-Doh because then one child's Play-Doh sculpture might be better than another, so they just have to sit there and stare at this like lump of Play-Doh as it comes out of the can.
Well, what the communist government would have done is you get gray Play-Doh, and everyone gets exactly one gray Play-Doh, and you can shape it however you want, but if we see you shaping it into something that might be contradictory to the Communist Party, you're gonna die.
You have to shape it into a mustache.
It's not like you're in trouble. It's like if that blob of clay looks a little bit too much like capitalism, you're going to the gulag. Is that a dollar sign we see? Gulag. Oh, what's that? Are you trying to make something fun and
you made Bill Gates?
Are you trying to trade clay? Are you trying to trade your Play-Doh for other things? That sounds like economics or the market. Time for the gulag.
Oh, you say that really casually. That's a little.
I say what casually?
Time for the gulag.
Time for the gulag.
Oh, that's a little.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that's how Stalin said it. He probably got some kind of sick kick out of it.
Did he say it like someone, like a middle-aged guy trying to relive the glory of his youth in the 70s?
No, hold on. No, I'll tell you how he said it. Hold on. Hold on. You know what they'd say, Joe?
What?
You know what Stalin would say? He'd burst out into the council chambers in front of all of his general friends, and he'd throw
all his homies.
Yeah, all his commie homies. I guess they were comrades.
They were comies.
All my comies.
All of my comies up in the house.
He'd throw this poor sap with his Play-Doh shaped like capitalism onto the floor, and he would just shout, "Prima Gulaga."
Yeah, you didn't spend like 4 minutes looking that up.
No, shut up, Joe. That's not the point. Yes, we paused the video so that I could take an extreme amount of time to look up how to say that online.
Okay, we should steer away from the gulag because that's not that funny.
Prima Gulaga. Sorry, I'm really enjoying that now.
Yeah,
I'm going to start shouting that at my coworkers. Yeah, anyway.
So would the Soviets have had Mr. Potato Head, do you think? Because I'm thinking like they couldn't let you mix up the face because that's originality, so they just have like one hole, and the whole face goes in the one hole.
No, you can have interchangeable You can have, like, all the pieces come out, but each of them are shaped so that they only go in their proper hole.
Yeah.
So you can only put the left eye in the left eye slot.
Let your child learn how to organize something the way it properly should be and prepare for a future in the factory.
Teach your children to follow orders and instructions.
Hours of fun for the young children of your family unit.
Completion of this project includes certificate preparing child for factory labor. For ages 5 to 7.
Work in Soviet factories for ages 5 and up.
Vreme Gulaga.
Oh, stop! Stop it!
Okay, alright, jeez. But yeah, the Russians did send a lot of people to gulags.
They sent a ton of people to the gulags. Did you hear about when the Soviet Union was starting to collapse? A lot of what was going on there was just the influence of American culture on their youth. Like, a lot of it was just people started, like, they wanted to listen to rock and roll and wear blue jeans, and it was so much, like, that was actually a threat to the Soviet government, was that stuff getting in the country. So
it's like the United States was winning a cultural victory on civilization.
Yeah, and so toward the end, they started releasing all this stuff to try to appeal to their youth and try to be hip. So it was this massive, like, 50, 60-year-old government attempting to be hip to the young generation. And it was friggin' hilarious. If you've ever seen it yet. Like, they did some music videos. There's this music video of Let It Be by the Beatles. And they're like, oh, you know, they did this music video with these people singing Let It Be in Russian. And they were like, oh, we're gonna be hip and with it, you know, because we know the Beatles, but I don't think they really knew how to do it. They just knew that the Beatles were really weird, so they just threw a bunch of, like, weird stuff at the camera. And it's like people wearing weird costumes, like turning to the camera, saying "Let It Be," and this chorus of highly organized children singing "Let It Be," and it's an attempt to appeal to the youth.
This shows you just how out of touch they are.
Yeah, it was funny.
Were, I guess.
It was really funny.
Yeah. But let's not forget whose fault communism is.
Whose fault is communism, John?
Karl Marx.
Yes, it is Karl Marx.
The biggest idiot in history. Well,
who should have had some hair gel.
Yeah.
That
with
or the biggest
in it.
That or the biggest troll in all of history.
I don't think so. I think he was just power hungry and was really just deep down hoping that this revolution would sort of come to him. I mean, he spent his whole life living off of the generosity of other people, including his best friend Engels, Engels supposedly did a lot of the work and was not credited for things he did. And Marx basically just mooched off him the whole time.
So Marx was the Garfunkel?
I guess. I just imagine him sitting there on his couch like, yeah, any day now, the people are going to rise up and come to my house and be like, Carl, we're ready, Carl. It's time. And I'll go before them, riding a donkey, and I will lead them to victory.
You meant, like, sitting there in a wife-beater undershirt surrounded by, like,
in his
empty
boxers.
Cans of Mountain Dew in his boxers.
That's exactly what he was doing.
The communist revolution is going to come. Like, I know for now I'm just sitting down here, you know, watching the honeymooners, but I've been doing a lot of philosophy, and someday the workers are going to come and set me free, and they're going to be like, come lead us, Carl. Come sit in this cool car and drive around the city with us, Carl. And all the girls would be like, oh, Carl is so attractive. He freed us from the oppressive upper class. Just imagine Karl Marx's head on like this.
Carl, what are you doing? Oh, I don't know. Carl, what? What have I done? Carl, you started a revolution, Carl. Yeah, see, I kind of needed to. But Carl, there's so much death and destruction. Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was after. That was kind of what I was after deep down. But Carl, the people are the point of all this. Yeah, well, now that we're here, that's a bummer.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a bummer. Carl! You've destroyed our means of production, Carl, and the streets are running with blood.
Well, it's better than the capitalists having him.
Carl! Did I tell you
Which is pretty much how they saw it.
Maybe that's a message in Llamas with Hats. I don't know. Did I tell you about the political science class I took where
Shout out to Film Cow, by the way. Feel free to send us money.
I had to read Karl Marx, and it was right when Llamas with Hats was coming out. So all the time when I was reading it, I was thinking, Carl!
When it was brand new?
When it was new, yeah. I think it was when it was... Maybe they were on like
new
the
to you.
second or third one, yeah.
I think they were coming out with those when I was in...
They were around for a while.
A junior in high school or something.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know. Many years ago, back when that was new.
Back when I was
back in our day.
Back in our day. What would some of our franchises be like under communism?
Like, name a franchise. Like, what do you think? What's in your mind when you're like, what would happen to X?
I was thinking like Garfield under communism, where he's like, where he's just, because you know how Garfield is kind of pissed off all the time. He's grumpy. He'd wake up like, gosh, I sure do love Mondays, and I love eating government rationed food, whatever comes in the mail today.
Well, he could still be negative. It's just that all his joy in life would be derived from the motherland. It'd be like, today sure is crappy, but at least I have my government-issued bran flakes. Best way to start the day. Hey, can I get some of that lasagna? Sure, Garfield. You can have half. But only and exactly half, and if you take more, you'll be accused of capitalism and thrown... Let's see, what are we gonna do? And then Stalin jumps around the corner. Vrima Gulaga!
Oh, God.
Do. And there's like this little thing where he gets carried off, and the car's like do bouncing all the way to the
like
Gulag.
in 1930s?
Yeah.
I think it did. It was big in the 1930s. That was like the rise of the Stalinist. So what if they had like a...
And then like the next episode, Garfield's like dragging his feet, walking, coming back in, and he's like half his fur is falling out, and he's all skeleton-y, and he's like... Oh, hi Garfield, how was your time away? It was great. I love the motherland. Can I get 49% of your lasagna, please? Don't give me more, for God's sake. Stalin pokes his head around the corner. Good.
Stalin even looks evil in the Soviet-produced cartoons.
No, he just approves of Garfield's desire to not even have his full half, just to really be generous to everyone else.
Okay.
And take it like a shit.
Stalin in the car, like, because they were, like, getting big in the 1930s, which is the same time those, like, Betty Boop cartoons were coming out, where, all the inanimate objects had, like, big smiling faces, and they'd be bopping along to some groovy song. So if they had done that in the Soviet Union, they'd probably be like this big-lipped, cartoony version of Stalin that looked kind of like Popeye, and he gets in his car, like, where are we going today, Mr. Stalin? We are going to purge government officials, and everything be all bouncy. There'd be this happy song.
What else can we say about communism?
I was going to go into, like, communist toys, where it was like you could have... Because, Barbie's big around the world. I don't think they'd pass up the appeal of Barbie in a communist country.
Are you sure?
So it'd be like, yes, we have Barbie in Soviet Union, but unlike in America, where she goes to a mall and buys lots of different sets of clothes, here Barbie's clothes are all the same.
And she does not need to shop, because they are brought to her by clothing deliverer, who comes once a year and only once.
I think she has to go to the depot. Yeah. She does
all day is work in factory and take care of her children.
Go to depot now.
No, she doesn't do that.
Go to depot now and you can get black pair of shoes, black pair of shoes, black pair of shoes.
And for a limited time,
black pair of shoes.
matte black pair of shoes.
Oh!
Anyone caught wearing them in public will be shot. And they're like in fine print for home use only.
The tiny shoes.
Matte black shoes. There's like black, and matte black. And it's like, that's different.
Perestroika edition is where you get the matte black shoes.
Oh, yeah.
They could have the communist Care Bears. If they had gotten a hold of the Care Bears in that country, they would be, they'd still be up in their cloud city, looking for the kids that needed their help and needed help carrying. They'd be like, oh my gosh, little Billy is sad. I see a little child down there in need of the Care Bears' help. And they'd, float down to the earth and be like, hey there, little child, why are you sad? Oh, I'm sad because I heard my parents fight and I'm not sure if they love each other anymore. Well, little Billy, you only think that's why you're sad. You're really sad because you're being oppressed by the capitalist upper classes.
And the only reason your mommy and daddy fight is because they're facing financial straits caused by the capitalist elite stealing all of their money.
So come on.
Join us.
Do you
Rise
care?
up.
Do you care, Billy?
Do you want to save your mommy and daddy?
Do you care enough to join the workers' revolution and save your mommy and daddy? And then the Care Bear like turns to the camera with this serious look on his face. You know what we should talk about that we've talked about many times before? Communist Scooby-Doo. We got to talk about Communist Scooby-Doo.
We've talked about a couple different versions of Scooby-Doo.
But we haven't talked about Communist Scooby-Doo. That's the whole point of this.
Okay.
So my thinking is that it would be the same show where, the Scooby-Doo gang drives around to different areas and uncovers mysteries, and they have to, uncover the monsters so that there's nothing supernatural, because the Soviets have to disprove that.
Right.
But it turns out the bad guys are just trying to, run legitimate businesses, and they get taken to jail for it, so they, come up with this elaborate trap, and they catch the evil sea monster, and they're like, let's see who you really are, and they unmask him, they're like, why, it's Mr. Pitters who owns the amusement park. Yes, Mr. Pitters was running the amusement park that he built and taking all of the profits for himself. He also paid his workers a decent wage and didn't give a majority of his profits to the government. Yes, and I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. They're just trying to run legitimate businesses. So there's a donut shop, and they're like, hey gang, I think this is a donut shop, not the bakery depot sanctioned by the government. And this ghost in chains comes out leave this place. Leave this place. They have to uncover who he is.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah. I would actually watch that. I would totally watch that.
The crew would finally take equal risks.
What do you mean?
Well, if everything's fair, then they stop, where, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy always end up eating all the food. They wouldn't be allowed to do that anymore.
They wouldn't have enough food.
The redhead couldn't go off alone anymore.
Well, since Shaggy and Scooby always eat on the food, and all the food in the Soviet Union, they wouldn't have enough food. They would be like, wow, Scoob, I sure am hungry. Me too. But man, all we got from the depot are these 4 slices of ham to last us the week. Dang, Scoob.
I know, man. We'll just raid the covers of this guy. I can't do Scooby's voice.
Whoa, Raggy, I don't know about that.
Well, remember, Scoob, it's not his property anyway, man.
That's right. Rip around to the working class.
Yeah, man, we're totally the working class.
We're totally the working class, and they sit in their van all day.
Eating other people's
traveling
food.
Around, eating people's food, and solving mysteries.
Yeah, I feel like they make up the mysteries just so they can raid someone's fridge, and then not Velma, the other one.
But Daphne.
Daphne and Captain Ascot can go get it on. And
Captain Ascot.
Captain Ascot can go get it on in the attic or whatever.
No, see, what's going to happen is eventually...
The show is full of so many innuendos.
Eventually, the rest of the gang's going to confront Scooby and Shaggy, and they'll be like, Shaggy, Scooby, you never help out with our missions. You spend the whole time searching for food and being useless. How can you afford to do this? And then Shaggy's uncle comes out, and he's a high-ranking official of the Communist Party. And he's like, are you treating my Shaggy well? And they're like, yes, sir. We're just about to go to a mystery, aren't we, gang? Jinkies for the workers. You know what they should have? Soviet Yelp. They should have had Soviet Yelp where people can leave restaurant reviews, but suspiciously they're all 5 stars and they're nearly identical. This restaurant was wonderful. I would certainly visit again. And there's one negative review that's on there for an hour and then it gets replaced with the same thing.
This message has been deleted and its poster has been sent to Gulag.
This message has been deleted. Its poster been sent to Happy Fun Park.
Yeah, the Happy Fun Park.
Happy Fun Park.
Happy Fun Re-Education Park.
Yes. Do you remember when you could take a stroll through East Berlin and hear the screams of the damned? Pepperidge Farm, remember?
Comrade, I wanted to keep this secret, but party produced ice cream sandwich. Ice cream sandwich produced by United Soviet Socialist Republic. You know what it tastes like?
Ice Queen's butthole.
It tastes like your ice queen's butthole. Da!